the funny thing about Candy Pop, if you look at Candy Pop and then you look at Steal My Sunshine, they're the same video.
Yeah.
Except one's got a $300,000 budget and one's got a $3,000 budget.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of their buddies hanging out, having fun, playing sports. In the case of Candy Pop, it was skiing. In the case of Steal My Sunshine, it was jet skis and stuff. And but in many ways, it's the same video, even featuring people who would later become famous. And Candy Pop, I think Buck 65's in that one, and so is Brendan Koenig, who ended up in Broken Social Scene.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I saw that Candy Pop video. I still have it, the VHS that Mark sent me 30 years ago. And I was sold. The second I saw the video, I'm like, oh my God, the song's amazing. It's everything you said, but it's also the fact that he had a real knack for making you'd watch it and kind of go, man, there's a scene going on that I'm not part of and I want to be part of.
Yes.
And to some degree with Mark, it was true. Like there was a scene. He did have all these buddies around him. That's why Len at times had 10 people, because it was like, it was this revolving cast of people who'd kind of come in and out. But I remember seeing that video and going, holy, I want to know these people. I want to go party with these people. Like Mark was really a genius in that way.
Absolutely.
And I have a slightly different take on the work group video, but it's pretty much the same. I was on a conference call. I wonder if you were on it. God, it's so long ago. I was on a conference call. It was me, their then manager, Graham, the video dude from work group. I think Jeff was on the call. They might have even been in LA in the boardroom, and for some reason they wanted me on the call. Right. And Mark's like, yeah, we're going to fly a bunch of our friends to Florida. And they're like, yeah. And then, so what happens in a video? And Mark's like, well, that's it. That's what happens in a video. And everybody's like, but that song was such a monster and it was really blowing up. I don't think anybody wanted to fight him on it. And,
well, I think also too, Jeff understood that he had made these other low budget videos that were really good. I mean, I remember vividly that he had been attracted to that talent when they signed them. Yeah. So I think he probably just had faith, I guess. I don't know. But
I was just going to say, I mean, you had already been in the business for a while. You had some big successes. I know you're involved with Wilson Phillips and involved, for me, Steal My Sunshine absolutely was the first success I had that exceeded the borders of Canada. Because that song, my God, if I recall correctly, it was the third most played song in the world that year. I think it was 98.
Wow.
And, there were so many things about it that were so interesting. For example, that album had, I think, 60 samples. Like every single song had a gazillion samples. Yeah. And there was no standard protocol for that stuff back then.
Right.
So I had to clear, it was insane. I was trying to clear samples from record companies that went bankrupt in 1926. Like it was, and some stuff never got cleared because there was simply we did all the due diligence. There was just no way of clearing them. Or we determined they were public domain or whatever it was. But do you remember who the sample was for Steal My Sunshine, right?
Well, it was more of the Andrew True Connection, and it was an EMI copyright.
And if this had been today that this happened, Mark would not have gotten the favorable split that he got.
Yeah.
It's just that back then it was the wild, wild west. It was just about, I remember negotiating hard about it. Yeah. And because at the time it seemed to me that we should be getting more, I was like, hey, big deal. So, but now of course, and especially if you isolate the bridge, the instrumental bridge from More, it becomes so obvious just how, in a lot of ways, that's Steal My Sunshine.
Well, yeah, and that's the beauty of sampling, and it's like a great example of a great sample, a great use of a sample, and that becomes something totally different, but still has the spirit and vibe of the original.